If you are a regular watcher of Rich Social Worker, I have to assume that it's because you want to have a bigger income and because you want to have a bigger impact. And if so, then this video absolutely is for you. I had the pleasure of sitting down with Vasavi Kumar. Now, Vasavi is someone that I've followed for years, and I've always been impressed with how authentically she shows up online, with how many places she is online. She is a certified coach. She is licensed as a social worker. And in this conversation, we talk about having more money. We talk about making a bigger impact. And we talk about creativity and creating structures around that. So if you're entrepreneurially minded at all, or like I said, you really are looking for ways to expand your impact and grow your income, then this conversation, I think you're gonna get so much out of it. Okay, so make sure to like and subscribe and comment in the bottom. I'll put all of the show notes below, and I'll see you on the inside. Hi, Vasavi.
Hi, Eva. How are you?
I'm awesome, and I'm really excited to have you on the channel. Thank you so much. You were one of the early people that I followed online, just in terms of an example of a social worker, someone with a social work degree who was entrepreneurial and who was, showing up authentically, and who, I don't think at the time you were talking about wealth and money. I don't remember, but you were talking about, how you had, worked with very kind of high profile entities. And so I found that really intriguing. So welcome to the channel. Welcome to my viewers. And I just love to hear about a little bit of your journey from either from social work or into social work, and this wealth path that you're on, or I shouldn't even say a wealth path that you're on, because I think you do so much and wealth seems to be a part of it, or money seems to be a part of it. So I just love for you to share with me and the audience a bit of your journey.
Yeah, so I became a social worker. I went into social work I got my master's in social work at Columbia, just like you, in 2008, and I graduated in 2010. And after that, I had just, the coaching industry was something that was like brand new, and that was kind of coming to light. And so I then became a coach. I went through a year-long program. I didn't realize that I could actually make money being myself. That was something that was very new to me. And so, that's kind of always what I had never put words to it, but that's really all I ever wanted, was like, I just wanted to get paid to be myself. And help people, right? Get paid to be me and help people, right? So I combined both my therapy and coaching. So I was able to offer both, because, you can't offer therapy across state lines. Yeah. And then I also had the coaching aspect. And I just found myself to just be who I am with everyone, but through my marketing. So I was just always myself, and I was always looking for opportunities where I could impact more people. So it's like one to many, right? Instead of so I would find different events to go to at the Jacob Javits Center, and they had this event called Circle of Sisters. So I set up a booth there, and I was always pitching myself to different networking groups and women speaking events. And I started thinking outside of the box of how could I really impact more people? Because when you're offering therapy, it's one-to-one, or you could do group therapy. But I was always looking for ways to expand and to get my voice heard on bigger platforms, and it worked out. Like when I was asked to be on VH1's Basketball Wives, that was a result of me planting a seed 4 years prior. So that's just what I really want your viewers and listeners to hear, is that what you plant today you're not going to get the results of that tomorrow, right? But down the road, it'll start to come back to you. The goal is to really plant seeds and to share who you are and what you do with others, no matter where you are and who you're with. And so wealth was never really something that I talked about. Money came easily to me because I didn't say no to it, and I didn't feel bad about receiving it.
Can I interrupt you for a second?
Yeah.
You've said a lot that I think a lot of social workers, especially newer social workers, I think will find fascinating. Wow, who gave you permission to put yourself out there? Because we're not told, you know what I mean? When you're trained in social work, at least I don't remember.
Well, we're trained to be martyrs.
Yeah, I feel like, it's like you kind of go into a system and you work with an agency and organization, or you are kind of like this support for this big engine. So I'm just fascinated and curious as to how you kind of were able to circumvent that thinking, or think, like you said, think outside of the box. Like, was that something you were raised with, something that was just inside of you or you found?
Yeah, my parents are immigrants. My mom had her own cardiology practice. My father had his own CPA practice. I saw my parents never answering to anybody. So we could go on 3-month-long vacations. We'd go to India every year for 3 months. We'd go on vacation. If my dad just needed to pick me up early from school, he could. So I saw a lot of time freedom with my parents, and with time, I also saw a lot of money freedom with them. So just from a very young age, I knew I don't ever want to be told what to do. You can't tell me when to clock in, clock out, when I can take a vacation, when I can go to the bathroom. No, thank you. So the idea of working for an agency, I remember my last year of my MSW, I did apply to some places and my heart wasn't in it. I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to work in a system. I just don't. I just knew that my personality and the way that I operated was just going to feel stifled in that. So then after my master's in social work, I went into a coach's training program because I really loved the combination of looking at somebody's past to then get clear on why they are the way they are today, and then use that information to help them create their future. I'd been in therapy since I was 12, so I knew the beauty of therapy, but I also went through this training for myself because it was a whole new way of looking at things. I was like, oh, you mean I'm not hostage to my past? I'm not a victim of my past? So like I had to really help myself first before I could help other people. But that's a great question. I mean, I as a social worker, I mean, every single social worker that I've ever met is so burnt out, and they just are just they're just barely making ends meet. And it just feels so, it's like a toxic, it's like an abusive relationship that you're in, right? You're not getting much for the amount that you're getting, for the amount that you're giving.
Yeah.
And we don't talk about being a rich social worker. We don't talk about that in school, in our program. We're taught to give, and be of service and help. But like, who's looking out for us? And like, are we just supposed to help others and barely make ends meet? Because I don't know about you, I'm no good to anybody when I'm struggling.
Listen, we can't go down that road because I have a testimony when it comes to that. But yeah, you're absolutely right.
I chose a path. You know, I'm an unconventional social worker. I chose abundance, and I chose impact and influence over, you know, just the traditional way of providing help. You can provide help in so many different ways. And now with the age of social media, like if you look at the holistic psychologist, what she's done, how many people she's helped, her book, How to Do the Work, like she's leveraged social media to be able to help so many people. So there's not one way to help.
So talk about that. Talk about your impact and how you've been able to leverage that.
Yeah, so I love video. I absolutely love video. I love the power of being on camera. It's the easiest thing. Ask me to write an email and I'm like, I don't want to do this. Ask me to just come on camera. I'm great. So that's just my most confident form of self-expression. I mean, I can write. I'm not going to undermine my writing skills. I'm much more me though. You can feel me much more when I'm on camera, when I'm speaking. So and that came from a young age. My dad would follow me around with the video camera. So I'm very comfortable in front of the camera. And then when social media came about, with Facebook and then with Instagram and YouTube, like I was like, oh, you mean I can like shoot videos and I could like get on video and I could like have my own show. And that for me was great because I had so much to say. So I just used that as an opportunity, like, oh, cool. I can help more people if I'm seen. It was just a no-brainer for me. There was no like, I have a fear of being seen, or what are people going to think? I didn't give a shit about that because I was very clear that I was here to help people. There's no room for doubt.
And you've been on NBC and CW and VH1 and featured on Fox and Wall Street Journal.
Yeah, I've been all the places. I mean, I've been everywhere, and I continue to grow, and I continue to say yes. And any opportunity to get on video, it either comes to me or I'll find it. And I say yes to that because people connect when you're on video. Like, yes, words are very powerful, but because we're in an age where there's so much video out there, you know what I mean? Like, why would we not leverage that? Why would you not leverage that? Especially as a social worker, if you're a new social worker or have been a social worker for a while and you're like, man, I really want to be making more money, then get on video. Get on video. The work that you're doing with your one-on-one clients or in your group, you could be teaching that on video. You could be creating online courses. You could be having virtual groups. You could have paid partnerships. Like, there's a lot that you can do.
There's a lot that you can do. And I understand the words that you're saying because I'm in this online coaching space as well. I expect, however, that there are some people that don't understand. So there's, you're speaking English, but there's there's steps between saying get on video or get your thing out there and create a course. There's steps between that and the concept of it and then it actually happening.
So this would be my very first step if you're watching this. First of all, I'm assuming if anyone's watching this, they're on social media of some sort, okay? I'm assuming. If not, get on social media because you need to be on social media if you want to grow your business. I don't care what anyone says. If you have issues with it, get over it, start to learn to love it. Because when you start to use social media with intention, you'll actually realize it's not the enemy. You can actually reach a lot of people if you learn to love and utilize social media for what it is, which is to network and connect with people that you may not have had the opportunity to connect with before. What I would do is to make a list of different social media accounts that are doing what you're doing or want to be doing. Who are the accounts that you follow and you envy? That's what I would do. Look at the people that you're jealous of. Look at the people that you're like, man, I wish I could be doing that. I wish I could be like that. That's what you should be doing. And you should be putting your own flavor and you should be putting your own sauce, your unique sauce, right? But I would really look at people that are out there teaching certain things that you're like, wait, I'm qualified to teach that. Why aren't I doing that? Yeah, why aren't you doing that? So I would really start to look at that because it's already out there, right? Like you're not reinventing the wheel. No one's asking you to come up with this brand new therapeutic concept that's going to change lives. But whenever clients come to me, they're in my mastermind, Camera Confident Mastermind. They're like, yeah, but people already talk about this. It's like, yeah, there's a reason why people are talking about it because people need it. And if you haven't talked about it, it hasn't been done yet. That's always been my mentality. I had the same mentality when it came to putting videos out there. Like, do people really want to learn about boundaries? It's like, yes, they do. And hey, maybe if I say it in my way, it could hit a different type of audience, right? So that's how I look at things. But I would tell your viewers and your listeners to really get clear on like accounts that you follow that you're envious of. And I'm going to use the word jealous and envy because it's not a bad thing to be jealous and envious. It's actually a great indicator as to what you want to be doing and what you actually admire. You're just too afraid to do it. Second step, and I'm not going to give it all away. You're going to have to work with me or join my mastermind.
Absolutely.
But I do want this to be of value. So I want to share this. There are topics that you probably talk about and people come to you the most for and stuff that just is so natural for you. Like stuff that you can talk about all day. Those are your content pillars, right? So for me, it's addiction recovery, it's confidence, it's camera presence, it's mindfulness, it's communication. These are all things that I absolutely, it's like having fun in your business, like having hobbies, like they're pillars of mine that I can talk about it all day. Those are the things that I create content around. So there's an actual system and a plan and a structure when it comes to taking all the things you can talk about. Because this is the number one thing people say, Eva. They're like, I have so much to say, I just don't know where to begin. I go, okay, great. Have you sat down and actually planned out and organized and structured your content? And then do you have a calendar, a 90-day, 6-month, 1-year calendar where every month, every week, what are you going to be talking about? What are you going to be selling? What are you going to be marketing? Are you going to be doing video? Are you going to be doing posts? See, the thing is, everyone wants to be of service to others and everyone wants to influence people. Most people are not willing to do the work, which is to sit your ass down and actually get organized and structured. And that's what I help people with.
And that's what you help people do. I love it. I want to talk about Real Rich.
Yes. Oh my God, that made me so happy. Yes, please. Yeah. So Real Rich.
For those that they might just think like, yeah, Eva, you always talk about rich. No, Vasavi has a program.
Yes, it's a membership community called Real Rich. I want to define what real rich means. So real is being real, being you. Rich really does come from, like my definition of rich here is substance, right? Like you are being real rich, which is full of substance, right? You're being completely you. And I truly believe when you're being yourself in life and in business, you will become real rich. because people want what's real. Like long gone are the days where fake sells. Do you know what I mean? It just doesn't anymore. We've gone through too much as a society to be okay with the fakeness. I mean, I'm sure there are still people who love it, just they love the fakeness and all that, but like no one's buying into that. So Real Rich is open for enrollment all the time. Anyone who wants to join can. It's a membership community where I teach my members, and my members also teach, because I want my members to get comfortable being in the authority role, in the teacher role. So 3 times a month, I host live calls. We have co-working sessions to keep you on track with accountability. You can plan your social media, brainstorm topics. There's also a live Q&A with me where you can ask anything. And then also we have quarterly guest teachers. And then every month we focus on a different theme. So right now we're in September right now. So my members have learned all about business systems, how to keep your business running like a well-oiled ship. Next month is October, and October is Own It October. So it's really about owning all the parts of yourself and sharing that on your social and being more vulnerable and authentic on social. So every month we have a different theme, and it's really a place to go for people who are highly ambitious, highly creative. They want to help others, but they need help building the creative structure, right? Because I always say, like, your creativity can look one of 2 ways. It can either be a wildfire, which will burn everything down in its path, or it can be like a street lamp. A street lamp has a focused, bright light. It still shines bright, but it's focused, right? It's a focused, bright light. And that's how you want to be. That's how you don't want to be a wildfire. I mean, it's cool to have the wildfire within you, but when you're trying to actually create some shit and have it come to life, you don't want to be all over the place. You need to have structure. The number one thing that I get from people before they join the community is like, well, I don't want structure. It's gonna stifle my creativity. It's like, well, how are you doing now without structure? Mm-hmm. Probably not well. You're probably scattered, anxious, feel all over the place. So you need a little bit of structure. And I keep it really simple because I don't like to complicate things. So that's what you get when you join my community. You get to work with me. You get to lead community circles yourself, so you get better at speaking. We give you feedback on your camera presence, quarterly guest teachers. It's $129 a month, or it's $13.50 for the whole year. It's a steal.
Absolutely, especially working directly with you. Yeah. I really hope some of my viewers will tap into this. I know a lot of them are aspirational when it comes to business, and I wish, like, that's something I wish I had known early on, like that creativity needs structure. Yeah. And accountability and, support and all of that to keep going. So I think that's really phenomenal, actually, and exceptional. So I know I asked you before this, if you would be comfortable talking a little bit about your experience with being wealthy, with wealth.
Yes. The very first thing that I want to say about wealth is that I love money so much, and that it's something that I had to really own for myself. So you should know, I grew up never having to worry about money. I don't have a rags to riches story. My parents came here, they worked their asses off. They gave us every opportunity. My mother said to me when I was about 9 or 10 years old, you have no reason to ever be broke in your life. And that was it. Of course, I have been broke because I've made some dumbass decisions in my life and really needed to work on my own personal life. I'm in recovery for cocaine use. So I'm 2.5 years sober from cocaine, and that's something I had to clean up myself. I was in a codependent relationship. It was really awful. I had all the resources, and even when I was in my addiction, I was making 6 figures. I was clearing about 10 grand. Yeah, clearing 10 to 12 grand a month during my addiction. Of course, I lost all of that because I had to go to rehab and I had to really take care of myself. So I lost all of that. But the very first thing on this path to being wealthy is that you have to acknowledge that you love money. Like, instead of being like, money doesn't matter. I don't care about money. It's like, really? Okay. Well, then, my mentor, Lisa Nichols, once said, your bank account is nothing more than a reflection of your mindset. So if you're going to keep saying you don't care about money, that's exactly what that's what it's going to reflect in your bank account. I absolutely love money. I love the opportunity. I love choices. I love freedom. I love the ability to just be like, hey, you want to go do this? Awesome. Like, my core values are connection and community and adventure. So it allows me to really live in my value system. The other thing is I really value my time so much. And so I used to give away a lot of stuff for free. I don't do that at all anymore. I had someone in my DMs yesterday saying she wanted to talk. So I sent her a link to schedule an hour call with me for $250. Like, I was just like, there, you want to talk to me? Here you go. Like, my brain is worth a lot. So I didn't say that to her, but it's like, I value myself. And I also know human nature that if we don't actually put some sin in the game, we don't value it either. So the way that I've learned to build my wealth, first of all, I invest in real estate. So I just bought my first property actually in Playa del Carmen. Yeah, it'll be ready in July of 2022. That's awesome. The other thing, yeah, my strategy for wealth is really quite simple. I have three revenue streams. Okay. So my first is in my business, and within my business, I have my masterminds and I have my membership community, which gives me reoccurring income. And I have one-on-one clients. So I have a mastermind, membership, one-on-one clients. I'm also a paid actor. So I do a lot of acting on the side, and I'll get paid anywhere between $1,000 to $1,200 a gig. And then I'm also a wedding officiant. That doesn't bring in as much, but it's great. Like, it still brings in a couple of hundred every month. And then every so often I'll do voiceover work as that comes in. But I have a talent agent and he gets me booked on a lot of stuff. So I just have found a way to really look at all the things that I love doing and I get paid for it. That's it. And so I don't just rely on one stream of income, because there's so many parts to me. Why would I not monetize?
I hope what my viewers are hearing is that exactly, to honor all those parts of you. And there are so many parts, and these different parts have value, like, that people will pay for, and, you know, to nurture that creativity. This conversation has been so dynamic. Like, I feel like I don't want to say anything else because I don't want to water it down.
No, you're not watering anything down. No.
Yeah. I'm so grateful. So, okay, as we wrap up, just what would you say? Because I think the typical person that watches Rich Social Worker, you know, they're literally typing in how to be rich as a social worker because they are burnt out, or because they're disillusioned, you know, because they just got out of school and now they're 8 months into this job and they're like, wait a minute, you know, I was so excited, and now what is this? And you know, like, what would you say to those people that are tuning in and kind of like just looking for next steps, what to do?
Well, if you're currently in a job and you're burned out, then I would really start looking for other things. Like, why are you just staying somewhere? You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't quit your day job anytime soon, but I would be actively looking for other opportunities for you to use your skills in a way that feels fun. I would follow the fun. You don't have to be this, you know, depressed martyr helping other people your whole life. Your job here on this earth is not to, you know, burn out in the process of building other people up. That's not your purpose in this life. Your purpose on this planet is to be happy and joyful. And when you do that, you can truly help other people. I would also do that exercise that I said, like, if you're this person who's on YouTube and you're wanting to leverage social media, then do that exercise that I said and look to see other accounts that are doing that and just start. There's literally nothing else to say other than just start. YouTube, how to start, you know, recording videos on YouTube, how to start recording videos. I mean, like, literally everything's out there. So just, you know, or you can hire me, you can join my community. I would also really have your social workers to see what I was saying, all the other parts to them. What are things that you can do to offset maybe the burnout, right? Because your job is not the center of your universe, right? You need to be the center of your universe. And I think that's very hard as social workers. We are very used to placing people in the center of our world. We have our own set of codependent issues as social workers, which is probably why we went into what we're doing, so we can help other people and not really have to look at ourselves. I'm just going to say that flat out. I mean, 100%. It's a great distraction to be able to be of service and help other people, not have to ever look at your own shit. So what I would do is really ask yourself, like, what do I enjoy doing? Like, what do I like to do? Like, to start to build yourself up the way you build everyone else up, and look to really understand and embrace all the parts of yourself, and then figure out a way to monetize it. And honestly, just what I would say is really ask yourself, like, you don't have to do anything right now, but just ask yourself, like, if I wasn't doing what I was doing right now, what else would interest me? You know, to be completely honest with you, the reason why I retired from offering therapy is because I had a come to Jesus moment that, you know, I actually went into social work because I played therapist for my parents from a young age. I was just really good at mediating conflict within my family. So I just naturally thought that I should be a social worker and help others, but it's not actually what I really ever wanted to do. I wanted to be on TV, which is what I did. I wanted to help other people feel confident. I wanted to speak. I wanted to act. So it's just interesting the choices that we make. I'm not discouraging any of your viewers to not be a social worker, but I am saying get curious about the other parts of yourself and honor it and do something about it.
How can people find you?
Well, hopefully you're on social media. You should come to my Instagram account at My Name is Vasavi, which I'm sure you'll link. And if you go to vasavikumar.com, you can learn more about the membership. You can learn more about my masterminds, working with me one-on-one, all the things.
I know you were saying that you prefer camera than emails, but your emails are dynamic as well. So
thank you. Yes. So I actually have a free gift. It's actually on the 10 must-have habits of ultra confident women. If you go to vasavikumar.com/free guide, it's how to go from people pleaser to confident self-lover. So
the link below as well.
Yes, free guide. Thank you.
Vasavi, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate you.
Thank you so much.